Let's talk about hitting in big time pressure situations and coming up clutch for your team when it matters the most. I'm gonna share with you 3 tips to help you control the moment and seize the opportunity the next time you find yourself at the plate in a pressure-packed moment. So the first thing is slow the game down. That's the very first tip that I have for you. I really think it'll help you perform under pressure, because sometimes, in those high pressure situations, we tend to tense up. And what happens when we tense up is our breathing gets really shallow and our heart starts beating faster. Our mouth might get that dry feeling. Our hands might start to feel clammy. We just don't feel like ourselves. It feels like the game is sort of speeding up on us, right? And you're not going to play at your best when you feel like the game is just getting away from you and everything feels like it's moving a million miles a minute. You've got to do whatever it takes to slow the game down. So how do we slow the game down? I think the first thing is your breathing, okay? Like I just mentioned, one of the first things that goes when you're in a big pressure situation is your breathing, and you start to breathe really shallowly. So instead of breathing like that, you need to breathe deeply. You need to consciously work on slowing your breathing down. So not breathing really, really quickly, but slowing your breathing down. And then you need to work on taking deep breaths instead of shallow breaths. I've also found something that really seems to work well is tap your fingers and tap them at the pace that you want your heart to be beating at, okay? You can do this it's a subtle little thing. You can do it in the on-deck circle when you feel like your heart's beating like this and you want to slow it down. Just kind of, pinch your fingers together at the beat that you want, or the pace that you want your heart to be beating at. That combined with controlling your breathing is really going to help you control the moment and slow the game down, okay? So that's the first thing. We've got to work on slowing the game down. You do that with your breathing, and then also realize that there's no shot clock. This is not basketball. You don't have to be in a hurry. There's no shot clock. There's no, the time's not running out, right? You don't have 2 minutes left on the clock and no timeouts left. Baseball doesn't have a clock like that, okay? So understand that, walk up to the plate slow and deliberately. Don't be rushing up to the plate, and don't step in the batter's box before you're ready to hit. Walk up slow and deliberate and take your time up here. Realize that you're the one in control here, so have some swagger about that, okay? Don't step in the batter's box until you're ready to potentially swing at that first pitch, until you have your plan and you're ready to go and you know the situation, you know what you're trying to accomplish at the plate. Walk up to the plate slow, deliberately, take your time, step in the batter's box when you're ready, and then if you ever find yourself in the box and you're not ready, call time. Or let's say the first pitch goes by, it's a ball in the outside corner, step out of the batter's box and don't rush to get back in. This is a big moment. You need to take charge and again, have some swagger, control the entire situation. You're the one in control here. It's not the pitcher, it's not the opposing dugout or anything like that. You are the one in control. So that'll really, really help you slow the game down, is just focus on controlling your breathing and then realize there's no shot clock and you can take your time. You're the one in control here. Don't let anybody else define or control this moment for you. The next thing that'll really help you out in these big moments is have a consistent routine and approach. So that's the second tip, okay? Have a consistent routine and a consistent approach. And it shouldn't matter whether it's the middle of the season and your team's up by 10 runs and now it's your turn to hit, or if it's the championship game, bases loaded, 2 outs, your team's down by a run and you're at the plate. Your plan and your approach and your routine should always stay the same. It should be like, this is potentially a chaotic moment. It's a pressure-packed situation, but your routine and your approach, those things should calm everything down, because it should be almost like something that you can use as an anchor in the chaos to control your nerves, if that makes sense, okay? It's almost like you got a big test in school that day and everything seems so chaotic throughout the school day, right? But your morning routine, the way that you get ready and brush your teeth and do all that kind of stuff, that kind of anchors your morning and gets you ready for the day. It's the same type of thing. We're gonna use our routine and our consistent approach to always get ourselves in that good headspace that we're looking for to perform at our best, okay? So the first part is the consistent routine. I believe, again, whether it's the middle of the season, whether it's a championship game, whether it's a pressure-packed moment, or whether it's not really a pressure-packed moment, it's your first at bat on opening day and you're just up there free swinging, right? I think that you start out with a consistent routine. And so that starts before the game. Do the same thing every single day for your pre-game routine. And you can get as in detail as you want with this, from your pregame meal to the time that you arrive to the ballpark. But really what I'm talking about here is at least the way that you warm up, okay? At least, do the same drills and get your body prepared in the exact same way. Study the pitcher the same way. Do whatever it takes to get yourself physically, mentally ready to hit, ready to play. But your pregame routine is one of those things that you can control in a game filled with inconsistencies and things that we cannot control. We need to control our pregame routine. And then what about your routine when you're in the hole? You should be doing the exact same thing every single time you're in the hole. And then when you're in the on-deck circle, it should be the exact same thing every single time. It shouldn't be, your first at bat, you do a series of stretches and you do whatever to get yourself ready. And then your next at bat, you completely forgo those stretches and you do something totally different. No, whether it's the first at bat of the season or your 500th at bat of the season, it should be the exact same. And I'll give you a hint with your on-deck circle routine. Make sure you're getting yourself physically ready to hit, because you got to get your body ready to go. Make sure you're getting yourself mentally ready to hit, and make sure you're getting your timing down. Those are the big 3 components of an on-deck circle routine. So you got to have a routine in the on-deck circle. You got to have a routine walking up to the plate. You got to have a routine with how do you get the batter's box ready. This is your kingdom here. How do you get this ready for you when you walk up to the plate? You'll see a lot of hitters who have their hand up like this and they're adjusting the dirt, moving it around a little bit with their feet, right? They might, do this a little bit and then step out, and they have a routine of they look down at the third base coach, okay, nothing's on. They might hold their bat up like this. Take a deep breath, step in the batter's box. They might tap the outside corner of the plate 2 times, or, tap the outside corner and then the inside corner to make sure they have plate coverage, but they do the exact same thing every single time. You need to have a routine for when you're walking up to the plate. You need to have a routine for in between pitches, okay? So these are all things, again, the moments are gonna change, the situations are gonna change. You're gonna have situations where the pressure's on, and you're gonna have situations where the pressure's not really on, but those are all things outside of your control. The things in your control, we need to do a good job at controlling those things and making sure we have some consistency with it, okay? So these are all things that are part of your routine that you can control. The last part of routine is maybe have a routine that's like a failure routine, okay? So let's say you strike out, or let's say you fly out to the center fielder, or you hit a weak ground ball to the shortstop, you fail at the plate. You should have a routine when you get back to the dugout. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but have a routine that you do to get yourself ready for your next at bat, and also allow yourself to learn from this failure, right? Because it's important to learn from our mistakes. It's important to fail forward. So what does your routine look like to where you allow yourself to learn from this at bat, but then flush it? Because guess what? You might fail in the 2nd inning, but your team might need you in the 9th inning or later in the 7th inning or whatever, or maybe in extra innings, right? You're gonna get another opportunity, so you can't allow that failure in the 2nd inning to show up in the 9th inning. You got to find a way to handle that failure. So maybe it's a routine of I go back into the dugout and maybe I'm frustrated for a split second and I toss my batting gloves in my helmet, and then I sit there by myself and I think about for 2 minutes, replay that at bat in my mind, think about what I did well, what I didn't do well, and the reason why I failed, how I'm going to adjust moving forward. And then after that, I have some sort of a mechanism, some sort of a release where I can flush that and move on, because I need to go play defense and my team might need me a little bit later on in the game, okay? So very important for you to have some sort of a consistent routine. And same thing with your approach. Your goal should be to, have a consistent headspace every single time you step up to the plate, okay? So have some sort of a plan of what you're trying to accomplish at the plate. Have a consistent swing thought, whatever gets you going, whatever it's, maybe it could be yes, yes, no, or maybe it could be, attack good pitches, or see it, or, maybe it's one little mechanical thing that you're trying to tell yourself, or maybe it's just attack, whatever it is, but have maybe a consistent swing thought that you can go to that gets you in the same consistent frame of mind, whether it's the first inning of opening day or the last inning, your last at bat of the season in the championship. You got to have some sort of a consistent swing thought to get you into that consistent approach. But as far as approach, have a plan and be sure that you're, getting a good pitch to hit. Be sure that you're attacking good pitches. You're not chasing borderline pitches or pitches outside the zone. Got to have discipline, right? So we're attacking good pitches. We're trying to hit the ball hard somewhere. And I will say that your approach, the more heightened that a situation seems, the more that the pressure seems to be on, the more simple your approach should be. So we all know that you can't be, thinking and hitting at the same time, and you can't have a million thoughts going through your head when you're in the batter's box. You're never going to be able to hit that way. But especially, it should be almost like a teeter-totter. So when the pressure feels on, right, you really feel an increase in the pressure. It should almost be like, okay, well, I need to make my approach just simpler, just one little swing thought. I can't be thinking about, okay, he got me out with this last time, and I need to do this with my hands, and be sure you do this with your load and launch position. Oh, I got to stay connected and drive through. You can't be thinking a million different thoughts. Never going to be able to hit that way. Got to have a consistent approach, a consistent swing thought, and then the more elevated the situation feels, the simpler your approach should be. So consistent routine, consistent approach, so important. And the last tip that I want to share with you the next time you find yourself in a big time situation is to keep it in perspective. You have to realize that, yes, this is a great opportunity for you to showcase how hard you've been working and really start to reap what you've been sowing through all of that work in the off season and all of that hard work in practice. Now is your time to shine. But if you fail here, if you don't come through in the clutch in this particular moment, this is not the end of the world, and this is not the last opportunity that you're going to have to come up clutch for your team, okay? So realize that there's going to be more great opportunities after this one. Yes, you want to perform right now. Yes, you want to come through in this moment. In fact, I'd be concerned if you didn't really feel like coming through for your team in this moment. Of course, you want to do well, but I think that sometimes if you put too much pressure on yourself, it actually has the reverse effect, and you underperform. You don't play up to the way that you're capable of playing. And so you just always have to keep it in perspective. And got a great quote here from Michael Jordan. I want you to really listen to this and let this sink in. He says, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." So of course you want to perform when it counts, right? 100% you want to perform when it counts. Like I said, I think it'd be, something would be wrong with you if you didn't want to perform when it counts. But what I'm saying is, don't let the situation or the game or the at bat or whatever, don't let it get bigger than it is, because yes, you want to perform in the clutch, but you're going to fail a lot. Baseball's a game of failure. You're going to fail much more than you're going to succeed. And there's always going to be, tomorrow. There's always going to be another at bat, another opportunity for you to shine. So keep it in perspective. Not to say that you don't want to have success, but keeping it in perspective, I think, will help you play at peak performance, which is obviously what you want to do in a big time pressure situation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if it helped you out, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. That way you never miss any of our upcoming videos. And hitters, I put together an awesome free resource. I really think you're going to like it. It's called the Contact Point Checklist, and you can download it 100% for free. This checklist is going to help you make sure that your swing looks picture perfect at the point of contact, so you can maximize your bat speed and your power and your consistency at the dish. So it's 100% free. Just click on the link down below in the description or in the comments section to go download it right now. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.